So LALA J is, I like to say that I'm a marketing strategist before anything, and then a dropshipping expert. That is technically what I do, as well as being a marketing strategist. I'm a daughter of two, the oldest of the daughters, and I'm currently a full-time student at Kennesaw State University, studying marketing, of course, and business management. Other than that, I pretty much like to read. I'm really big on just mental health, keeping myself strong, keeping myself aware of certain things, helping others figure themselves out in their healing process and journey, and really just helping people through that process and building a business. A little about my childhood. So I grew up around all entrepreneurs, my mom being the very first one of all, and then my grandmother. From there was like aunts, uncles. Everybody pretty much owned like brick and mortars. I worked in a lot of those companies myself coming up. And my mom was really, I never had role models. My mom was somebody I always looked up to and just felt like there was a woman that I wanted to be. I always felt like role models was kind of like a stretch, like I don't know if I could be that person. So just seeing her do a lot of what she did and just the attitude she always carried. She was always a very strong woman. I've never seen my mom cry like ever. I was just having this conversation, like I think I've seen this woman cry like maybe 3 times out of my entire life. And just she was always very business minded. Like I remember being like 7, 8, 9 years old, like I'm having a business meeting with my friends, like everybody wanted to play like doctor, and I just was like, we're going to the courtroom, we're starting businesses, we're gonna do this. So I definitely would say that that was a major impact on why I am the way I am today, and so focused, because they were very, very hard. I wouldn't say hard, but they made it a point in, you know, education and making a way for yourself and doing things the right way, because there's so much things that, you know, could get off track, and it's so much illegal things happening nowadays. So they made it their duty, like it's real ways to get it out here, and you don't have to do what everybody else is doing. I wouldn't necessarily say this is for every job, but in working at Footlocker, especially at that age, I feel like as young adults, we have this vision, and we know, like a lot of people know, they're really smart and they're very talented and they're skilled at what they do. And I didn't necessarily, sales was not even something I was trying to get into. However, it just ended up falling in my lap, and they was like, hey, just be a salesperson. So when I took the opportunity, I was always thinking, I want to be the best salesperson, or I want to eventually be like the sales manager. But I think when you're coming out of high school or coming out of college, they kind of play you in these areas where they feel is best for you and not what you necessarily feel is best for yourself. So it was that moment of, I kind of feel like you're trying to like water down like who I really am to this company. And so I want to say maybe like 4 months in, I was always the best salesperson for the district, not even just for the store. So I'm thinking like, I'm this like young girl, I knew nothing about selling shoes, I knew nothing about sales, and you guys refused to like give me more pay or refused to give me a better position. I just felt like opportunity wasn't really, it doesn't come when you really want it to in those settings. So from that point, it was a 50. Everybody has a 50 at Footlocker and everything under Footlocker. And I was like, I'm about to have to finesse these shoes some way. So every 50, I would like offer it to all my brothers, sisters, friends, people off the internet. Like, I'm gonna get 50% off the entire store. Let's try and, you know, let me make some money and help you get some shoes. And from there, I started like going into third-party selling apps, and I just seen basically taking myself out of somebody else's hand and them trying to work me their way and working it my way. And I'm like, I could do this same thing just on my time and with my skill set, and nobody telling me, hey, you gotta wait to do this, or we're gonna put you here because we feel like it's best that you be in this position. So really just took a leap of faith, wanted some more money, and went for it. So I got into dropshipping because I was a freshman in college, again, kind of just not really knowing where to go. As opposed to having that job still, I wanted to do hair. I kind of just realized the demographic, and I feel like that's very important for people who want to start businesses, just realizing where you are and who's around you and what problem you can solve. So I kind of just started paying attention to certain problems and was figuring out how I could be a solution to them. However, in starting hair at that time, the hair industry hadn't really taken off yet. So the investment for hair was like super high. We talking like minimum $10,000, $12,000 to stock inventory. So before I even knew it was drop shipping, I was thinking like, how in the heck can I get this hair to these people, but I really want to sell hair? So I went ahead and like went through the full process of making a website, went through the full process of like advertising the hair and everything, like a full marketing scheme. And from there I was like, now I got to get the hair. So I reached out to somebody and I was like, you know what, how much is it for this many orders? And he was telling me $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, and I was looking like, there's no way I can get you that money. So I basically took like all his images and put them into my site, and I didn't know if it was legal or illegal. I'm like, I'm gonna have to do something to figure this out. And then from there, like the sales start rolling in, and I just start doubling his prices because his prices were so cheap. So as opposed to walking into a regular hair boutique and paying $300, $400, his prices were at like $30 a bundle. So I'm like, this must be how people sell hair, like for real. So I went up maybe $200, $300. I started like learning the percentage rates of just how you market and how you do profits, and put it onto my site. And I started getting $300, $400 rolling into PayPal. And I was like, okay, well now I can use this money to pay him off, and everybody wins. And he didn't know. Like I said, I didn't even know it was drop shipping until I started getting into it more, and I'm learning like, what exactly am I doing? Like, what is this process? But it really came from my mom she was telling me like, your car's gonna get repossessed. She was tired of paying for my first car. And you had that like daughter to mom moment, like, stop laying up under this boy you talking to, get up early, figure it out, get a job. And I was like, I cannot work another job. Like, I need to get back into sales. So it landed me in drop shipping. So to strengthen my mental health, I would say it's definitely still a battle for a lot of people, because some days, especially in entrepreneurship, there's no guide or blueprint. And even in life, it's no like, how do you feel about this situation, or how do you feel about this happening to you, or somebody to tell you like, hey, don't do it this way, do it this way. So my biggest thing, what has been helping me working out, I know people say it all the time, like it clears your mind, and people are like, I don't want to work out. But that's definitely something that has helped me in just staying focused on the path. I like to run a lot because that kind of keeps me clear on, like my inspiration is just focus on like stay the course. So running helps me like really bring that into the physical form of just stay the course and focus on where you're headed to, not looking behind or to what's to the left and right of you. And writing a lot as well. I think a lot of people nowadays, it's so much immediate access to things, social media, texting, calling. So before I try to like put it out or express certain things, I like to write it, and I'll reread it just to kind of understand like, okay, what direction can I take this in? Or maybe you're just really emotional right now. And social media cleanse is another one, because like I said, it can get very overwhelming, and a lot of people don't like to set that boundary, because I think a lot of people are in the mindset of like, don't show your weakness, don't show people that you had to come off Instagram to heal from something. But it's definitely necessary, and if that's something that you feel is needed for you to stay strong, by all means get rid of it. So I've done no social media for 2-3 years, and me starting my hair business, I didn't have social media for 3 years. I was like completely off Instagram, completely off Twitter, and I think that definitely helped my process and just getting to the point that I was at, because I was very structured as far as communicating with people and knowing when to pull myself out of conversations and situations and building with certain people in relationships. So now I'll do like maybe a 30-day cleanse every now and then if I feel it's getting too, it's overpowering my work ethic and just my mental. But I would definitely say just paying attention to people. I think nowadays it's really all about relationships. That's what really controls your emotions. When you're by yourself, you don't really think other people, because it's just you and your thoughts. But when you start trying to like intermix with friends and boyfriends and girlfriends and family, then it's like, did I do something wrong? Did I do that on time? Like, am I late? Did I mess up? Did I piss them off? So I definitely say just understanding the balance and knowing how to balance it, and not being ashamed to say, I need some me time. I can't do everything y'all want me to do. Mm-hmm. So I would say, kind of like you said, always thinking, I think a lot of people don't think of like, what can I do for this person, as opposed to what can this person do for me. So in me partnering with a lot of people, I always think, well, how can we expand? How can we grow? And I feel like it's an ego thing. You really just got to let it go. I think I've said this all the time. Everybody's afraid to get got. So even when we go into partnerships, it's like you got this guard up, and you don't want to be that vulnerable person. And you don't want to, you don't want to show them the ropes, because you feel like they gonna get ahead of me, or they might outdo me, or they got more followers than me, so I don't want them to take off with my ideas. But I'm a firm believer in what's meant for you will never ever pass you, and if it does pass you or it doesn't work out your way, then it just necessarily wasn't meant for you at that time or with that person, but it doesn't take away from your craft, because if you're really good at what you do, a partnership, collaborating should never scare you. And you should always, like, I always say, I'm gonna give everybody the recipe to eat for a lifetime, because I feel like the way you make your fish is gonna be different from how I make my fish, and the way you eat yours is gonna be different from how I eat mine. So if I can help you, by all means, that's what I'm gonna do, because everybody does it differently. So we live in instant gratification. I think that, like I said, social media is everything is accessible at your fingertips. So when you are starting a business, it's very easy to think that followers or likes or being sexy or whatever the case may be, if I post it, they're gonna see it, because that's actually how it does go. But it takes a lot more work behind it, and it's not just posting and it's out there. It's things like, I've sacrificed nights, I've sacrificed time with people I genuinely care about, things that I really want to do, because you got to market. And when you put that post out, now you got to run ads. And then when you run the ad, you got to be like very direct about the ad. So that might bring you to understanding your target audience. And then when you do your target audience, it goes to, okay, well, am I hitting Atlanta, or am I hitting Smyrna, or am I hitting Cumberland area, or am I going towards Tennessee? And then from there, it's down to ages. So it's so much to just one post. And even when you do post, it's the back end of getting more people to engage with that post. So I always tell people, don't just think your audience, because there are millions of people on Instagram and just in the world in general who don't know you from a can of paint or what all you can offer them. So I think when people just do like hey, I posted it, I'm done, it's kind of like, these people see you every day. Like, if they have not bought from you yet, they don't care to buy from you, or they're gonna do it on their time. So you definitely gotta put the work into getting more exposure. When I was starting out, and even now, like, I'll send 500 messages on Instagram in a day, just manually, like back to back to back to back to back. Hey, how you doing? Running evaluations, because it's Nipsey Hussle. I love Nipsey Hussle. Shout out to Nip. He said something recently in a song, and he was saying that you have to, it's like a do or die for your business and a do or die for anything that you want to achieve in life. And when you just post, it's kind of like, okay, I posted, now I'm gonna go have a drink. Like, you gotta really put some grind and effort into what you're trying to do if you really want to see the benefits of your work. Not just wanting success and expecting it. Manifestation is something I believe in as well. And I think in just wanting it, I think people can want a lot of things, but overall, and expecting it is actually what brings it to you. So for instance, I can want $1 million, but that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to align all my actions with wanting that $1 million. I think everybody wants to be rich, or just financially free in the sense of they're comfortable enough. But in expecting it, I feel like you move a different way. When you expect certain things, you make sure, for instance, if I'm expecting my mom to give me money for good grades, then I'm gonna put the work in for those good grades. Or if I'm expecting her to come home and not be mad, I'm gonna make sure the house clean, because I know that's what ticks her off. So as far as success goes, it's kind of like you gotta know, and I tell people all the time, it's not just faith, it's not just a prayer. You gotta put a lot of action behind those things as well, and expecting what you want. And like I said, in expecting it, you gotta do it as well. So when I was expecting to do 6 figures, I was coming from that $113 check. I didn't know, nobody knew how I was gonna do it. My mom was thinking like, is you about to go, like, are you about to scam or something? Where is this $25,000 gonna come from? But it was really, I expected it to happen, so everything I did was, okay, if I expect this, then I expect to wake up early. And if I expect to sell, then I expect to be up all night. I expect to, lose that time on the weekend, because I gotta figure out how to run ads to where it's gonna bring me that money. So I definitely think in expectations is all about aligning yourself with that expectation, as opposed to wanting it and kind of just, it's kind of like you want it on your time, so you do things according to your time, and it might not always be the right thing that you need to do for that want or expectation to happen. I am LALA J, and I am young and great.